Honorable members, in line with the communication from His Excellency, the President, the nominee sitting before us is to be vetted for the position of a regional minister. May I proceed to ask the nominee to tell us in 2 minutes about himself.
Would you want the Quran or the Bible? Right. You hold it in your hand like this, and then you take the right hand. And then I proceed to administer the oath. I,
Ali Adolf Burdiba John,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Honorable members, let me bring this to the fore, that we have written to all nominees that they are entitled to bring up to 10 guests. The maximum ceiling is 10. This morning, I have received complaint from the marshal and the clerk that this privilege is being abused, and they intend to let us withdraw the privilege. Honorable members, it is not with respect of only this nominee, but henceforth, let's limit ourselves to the maximum of 10. I thank you very much for the opportunity to make this announcement. The nominee may now proceed. In 2 minutes, tell us about himself.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, my name is Ali Adolf John. Mr. Chairman, I was born in the year 1965 in Bimbila, in my region, northern region. Mr. Chairman, I started my primary education in Central Primary School in 1971-72 academic year. Completed the primary and proceeded to middle school to write the middle school leaving certificate. And I completed the middle school in 1981. Mr. Chairman, after my middle school, I decided to proceed to the technical school. In 1981, and that took me to 1984, and I wrote the City and Guilds certificate exams. Mr. Chairman, having completed the primary school, I had to do some work, and for that matter, people teaching, as it was called those days. I taught for 2 years and decided to further my education in the Tamale Polytechnic in 1987, and I completed in 1989. Mr. Chairman, after that, I also decided to do my national service in the same technical school. After my national service, I was immediately employed there, and I started teaching as a tutor in that very year, in 1989. After my national service, I was given appointment as a teacher. Mr. Chairman, after that, I taught for some number of years, and then proceed. Because I wanted to become a professional teacher, I had to go to the University of Education, Kumasi campus, to do a certificate course. After the certificate course, I didn't end there. I also did another course, that is foundation, in 2005, 2006. Mr. Chairman, after that, I came back to my school, but at a point I decided to move from the main teaching stream to now go to the GS office. Mr. Chairman, after that, in GS office, I was given the role of security supervisor. And after that, I was posted to Cherepone also, where I worked for 2 years. Mr. Chairman, doing all this, I was also very interested in politics. And so, when I was in Cherepone and I was transferred back to Saboba, fortunately, within that year, as a security supervisor in GAS office in Saboba, my party came to power in 2008. And I was nominated by my colleagues who were party executives to become the district chief executive. And I served as a district chief executive from 2009 to 2017. I served as a district chief executive from 2009 to 2017. And after that, I now moved to Tamale, where I reside now. I also work with the Tolong GES.
Deputy Whip, who is the acting ranking member today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I first of all wish to congratulate the nominee. I was in Saboba for my national service. I taught in the EP secondary school. I was a sports minister. I've seen that you've indicated that you were once a sports director or something like that. And well, so my question is, we have a lot of young, beautiful girls migrating from the north down south. Most of these girls end up sleeping at places which are not conducive. Invariably, I'm talking about the phenomenon, the social phenomenon of kayaye. It's a problem in Greater Accra because then you have a lot of these people who do not have the right places to sleep at, and they end up getting pregnant. There's a lot of teenage pregnancy as well. Some of them are actually stabbed, and you would have all manner of some sort of sexual intercourse with them. How? Mr. Regional Minister Nominee, how do you intend to have that problem addressed? What are the specific policy initiatives that you intend to put in place to ensure that that is holistically addressed? Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, the Kayayo menace is a problem that has not started today. And I, as a regional chairman, as a regional minister, Mr. Chairman, sorry, because I'm a regional minister, chairman, very sorry, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I, as an incoming regional minister, I have already started thinking about our brothers and sisters who find their way to Accra to do all sorts of menial jobs. Mr. Chairman, the best I can do is, first of all, to make home a very attractive place so that we don't get further girls and boys migrating from Tamale and, for that matter, northern region to any part of the south, not only in Accra. Mr. Chairman, we shall initiate apprenticeship training. Those who are interested to become hairdressers, seamstresses, some who want to go into petty trading, we shall introduce some packages to be able to support them to start this, go into these ventures. Mr. Chairman, for all you know, some of them are there. They come all the way from the north to Accra just because her target is to buy a sewing machine. Her target is to buy a dryer. And because of these two things, she finds herself to Accra, and before you realize, she's doing something different. Mr. Chairman, I, as a regional minister, if I get the nod from this noble committee, what I can do is to ensure that all the district assemblies under me will take it upon ourselves, and I will supervise and ensure that the district assemblies go strictly by that. We will ensure that every DCE at his level should do his best to stop the migration of these young girls and boys from their respective districts to Accra. I will take it very serious. Every year, some number of sewing machines, some number of hair dryers. In the case of the boys, we shall attach them to master craftsmen. Then this master craftsmen will be able to take care of them, train them, and within a period that they think that maybe 3 months, a period that they think that these people have acquired the skills, then, just as captured in our manifesto, if they get this training, definitely the government, as part of our manifesto promise, we shall be in charge of taking care of whatever training course that these people have gone through under the master. And then we shall motivate the master by paying the master according to the number of people, boys or girls that he or she has trained. And then this process will be a continuous thing. We're not going to do it just 1 year. If we do it, Mr. Chairman, I believe that if some people in Accra get to know that their colleagues at home who couldn't buy sewing machines now have sewing machines. Those who dryers now have. Those who were loitering around now are attached to master craftsmen, and they are not paying anything. The guy has taken over to be able to pay just for them to get their training. I think most of them will find their way back. Most of them will find their way back into the region again. Mr. Chairman, I will take it very serious, because sometimes when we hear what our own brothers and sisters go through in Yendi, it's very pathetic, and I will take it up seriously, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair,
Any further question?
Yes, it's a follow-up. So, Mr. Nominee, what would you say about the MPPs setting up a place for our brothers and sisters and giving them this kind of training here in Accra, as against your earlier intervention? What would you say about that? I hear you needed clarification. I'm sure you are aware that we started a hostel in Accra, the MPP.
Very well.
The MPP government.
Very well.
And then that also came with some training, including having master craftsmen and all of those ones that you indicated.
Very well.
So I'm asking you, what would be your view, or what is your view on that? Are you intending to have that maintained, or you have a shift in program?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, it's a very laudable idea.
If the nominee can be given the opportunity to answer the question whether he's aware or he's not aware, then you can proceed with the other question.
Save that, Mr. Chairman, he started answering. So, Mr. Chairman, with all due deference, I think sometimes the nominees are very, very capable and able. So, in order not to, yes. So, Mr. Chair, please, I don't know if you, please, are you aware or not?
I am.
So, please, would you proceed to answer?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I think it was a very laudable and it was a very good initiative by the previous administration. And Mr. Chairman, the NDC will not scrap any policy that the MPP started. That was a very good policy for Ghanaians. Mr. Chairman, if you started this initiative, of course, it was a very good initiative. And so we, as a government, instead of allowing this, Mr. Chairman, instead of allowing this to be in Accra, where our youth will still find their way to Accra, we rather think that it will be better at the district levels. It's a very good initiative. Those who want to be in Accra, and they can cope with Accra, why not? But most of them, like we said, they didn't just find their way to Accra by mistake. Mr. Chairman, so I think that those who will want to still be in Accra, they can be. But I think that it will be better we establish some of these training centers in the district level, which is closer to their villages, and then they will feel more comfortable. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
I don't know, nominee, whether I got you right. Did you say that the NDC government will not abolish or scrap any policy of the MPP government? Did you say that?
If it is a good policy for Ghanaians, why should we scrap it, Mr. Chairman?
So what is your definition of a bad policy?
Mr. Chairman, we shall review every policy that you started that we find problems with. Mr. Chairman, we shall do everything. Like I said, governance is a continuity. And whatever you started that Ghanaians are very happy with, I don't think it is our intention to scrap it. We would rather review, look at what is not going on well, then we can improve upon it. That is what we shall do, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Your last question. And how many follow-up?
One.
Okay. So you have two more questions. Proceed to ask. And Honorable Nominee, listening to the question, let the questioner finish before you start providing your answer. And to our guests, we are still in parliamentary section, so we don't clap in parliament. So I'll plead with you to listen to the proceedings in silence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Nominee, what specific programs or initiatives do you intend to put in place to boost the region's economy? Because in 2016, I think the World Bank Poverty and Equity Brief indicated that the Northern region had a 30.7% poverty rate. What are the specific initiatives or plans you intend to bring to bear to boost your region's economy, reduce poverty, especially among the young men and women? I'm more interested in the young men and women.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, if you look into the NDC manifesto, you would realize that the agric sector, we have planned to provide mechanization centers at all districts across the country. Mr. Chairman, this policy is a policy that I am going to attach serious interest to. We all know very well that the northern region is a food basket of the nation. And so whatever I will do in my capacity as a regional minister, that is if this Nobel committee gives me the nod, I think I will give Agric very serious attention. And these mechanization centers, I will ensure that they function very well. I will insist that every district chief executive, I will ensure that they function very, very well. We will not abuse any of the government policies. I will supervise, monitor, and then ensure that whatever the government puts in at any district level, the people must benefit. And so we will attach seriousness to it. Then also, Mr. Chairman, in my region, just to let you know that the agric sector is where I'm going to focus most on, because your stomach must be full before you can do any other thing. Any investor who comes into my region with the aim of doing any of his investment in the agric sector, Mr. Chairman, I will play my part as a regional minister. I will ensure that if they are moving to any district, we receive them with two hands to let them put in their best for us to get jobs and for us to make the agric sector very attractive for everybody to want to invest in it or to venture in it. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
A follow-up. Thank you very much, Chair. Honorable nominee, I think the summary of what you've just said is that your concentration largely is going to be on agriculture. Is it going to be a departure from what we have known and seen over the period? Because one of the issues you would have is water. Water for the farms. How do you intend to have all this corrected and to ensure that the farms and post-harvest losses? So when you even have all the harvest, what happens to the crops or the food you want to bring down south? How do you intend to, because you've hinted largely on agriculture, and I just want to find out how you intend to correct all of this.
Honourable members, I will allow the nominee to answer the question, but I will treat it as a substantive question, because this cannot be a follow-up. Thank you very much.
But Chairman, if you listen to the response from the nominee, he emphasized the need for investment in agriculture. So then the member should be allowed to make a follow-up question with regards to that. I also have, because he is actually opening it up. Majority of his questions or his answers are not spot on. So he opened the box, so we have to come in.
Honourable members, I know what a supplementary question is, and I know what a substantive question is. I still stand by my ruling that this is a substantive question for the nominee. Proceed to provide the answer.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, what I've said about the agric sector does not mean that I'm not going to look at other sectors. The northern region is a deprived area. But as Mr. Chairman, you recall, I made it very clear. I said the stomach must be full first before you can think of any other thing. And so that is why I touch much on the agric sector. That doesn't mean that other sectors will be left I will give every sector the attention needed. Mr. Chairman, looking at the Agric sector, I'm going to open up. We have rivers. If you look at the river Oti, all the way from Damanku through Bimbila area, through Saboba, we don't have irrigation dams. Mr. Chairman, we shall employ this and open up irrigation dams such that we don't do only one season or one seasonal farming. Mr. Chairman, when these irrigation dams are opened, definitely our youth will be doing perhaps twice in a year. Instead of this one seasonal farming, we'll now do maybe twice. And Mr. Chairman, the other thing I want to talk about has to do with the post-harvest losses. Mr. Chairman, most of the roads leading to some of the villages where these farmers are based are not good. We have to open up more roads, make them more trouble, such that when our farmers harvest their produce, they are able to transport them.
Nominee, Chairman, I think you need to call your nominee to order. He's actually not answering the question. Post-harvest and all what you are talking about, it's not part of the question the member asked. So please stick to
He asks of post-harvest losses.
Chairman, he is not your nominee. Tell leader that the nominee is not your nominee.
That is to be the case. The nominee keeps saying that when I do this, he's not even referring to the committee that when we give him the approval, he has to be recommended by this committee to go to the plenary for approval. But if you listen to him, he's not actually even giving that credit to the committee. He's just saying, when I'll do this, I'll do that, when you haven't been approved yet.
Honorable Ranking Member, you said the question asked should be treated as a supplementary. And I said it should be a substantive question. I recall, and we all heard the questioner talking about post-harvest losses. Now the nominee is proceeding to answer questions from the post-harvest losses. And you are coming in to say he's not answering the question. The questioner is here and can attest to the fact that his question mainly is on post-harvest losses. That is why I have decided to take it as a substantive question rather than being a supplementary question. So once he is talking about post-harvest losses, and post-harvest losses is part of the question asked, I think the nominee has the right to speak about the post-harvest losses. Any further question? Yes.
Mr. Chair, is it done with the response? So, very well. So, we have witchcraft-related issues up north. Several camps have been set up to that effect. Some of the actions and inactions of these camps largely violate human rights. What steps are you taking to ensure that either they are well taken care of or closed, against the backdrop that you are going to be the chairman of RECSEC? Thank you very much.
Well, is your intervention on the question asked?
Yes, exactly.
Well, I'll give you the floor.
Absolutely. So I note that the question was talking about up north. I'm sure my learned friend and classmate knows that up north is not just one small basket. So if you are specific about the region he's going to preside over. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Alhaji Muhammad Shaibu. I mean, in the northern region.
Because the interjection, Chairman, he's not here for Savannah region nominee or any other thing. So
Honorable Whip, you don't have the floor.
But he's not here for 5 northern region. Is he here for 5 northern region?
Honorable Nominee, proceed to answer the question, having in mind you are here as a Minister-Designate for Northern Region.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, before I proceed to answer the question, I just want to, Mr. Chairman, before I proceed to answer the question, I just want the committee here to know that I have that full respect for everybody on this committee. And so, previously, as I was answering my questions, I had made it on 2 or 3 occasions that if I'm given the nod by this noble house, I've stated this not less than twice or thrice. So, Mr. Chairman, that is what I want to put on record before I proceed to answer that question. Mr. Chairman, coming to the substantive question, it is very true that some areas in the northern region have these witchcraft issues still going on. They have opened centers at various places. At least I know of Ngani area. I know of Ngani, that is the Yendi district. I also know of Kukuo in the Nanumba North district, that's Bimbela area. And I've heard of some also in other regions, but I'm more concerned about my region. Mr. Chairman, most of our very old, the aged, are often accused of witchcrafts. Mr. Chairman, sometimes when I see through social media or on telly what some of them go through, Mr. Chairman, it is something that I feel so much. Because I can imagine if my mother or my father had to go through that, I can't take it. Mr. Chairman, I will do everything possible with the traditional rulers. Because these things, if I am given the opportunity by this house to become a regional minister, Mr. Chairman, I cannot say that I can handle this issue myself or alone or with my district chief executives. Mr. Chairman, we need the intervention of the traditional rulers to help us to see which angle we should take. And if possible, either to reintegrate most of them back to their families, or we find a way of keeping them from this bondage. Mr. Chairman, it is something that I feel very bad when I see what some of these old people go through.
Well, I recognize the acting ranking.
Chairman, let me speak the local language to our nominee. And I think I'm fortified by order 63-1. I will interpret for Hansat. Chairman, I to ama chekara nung jia tezaborna to swang ama yar pam den chamakati buhara buhashanga. So ka tumbi regional chairman ama kuchekara kunang biala jia zauma kwa katizana kayisi. So chairman, what I'm trying to tell him, it's not for the Hansat. So let me just leave it that way, and then we'll.
You said you have a supplementary question. Please do.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to ask the honorable nominee, is he going to close down the witchcraft camps? Is he going to close them? Yes, no. And if he closes them, what is he going to do with the people who were originally in them? Basically.
But before you come in, honorable member, with all due respect, does he have the authority to close it now? Because these are matters of law. You see, so, no. So, with all, I'm aware that last parliament, even the president of the Republic of Ghana couldn't just get up to say, I am closing it down. And we need to use a legal regime to do that. Therefore, a bill was introduced in parliament, passed by this house, never got assented to. Here lies a nominee before us as a regional minister, and he's been asked whether he will close. If the legal regime is not there, and the nominee said, yes, I am going to close it down, then they hold him responsible. So with all due respect, honorable member, if you have another supplementary question, I'll give you the opportunity. But if not, I'll give the floor to another person.
Thank you very much, Chairman, for the education on this. Chairman, I also feel that, with due deference to you, some of these questions are also to test the capacity of whoever respectfully is sitting in. I see nothing wrong if the nominee says that there is the need for us to consider a legal regime, and that should be part of his answer. And honestly, I do not see anything wrong with that, Mr. Chair, although I take a cue. Thank you.
Honorable Jerry, in this house, if a ruling is delivered, we have a way of challenging the ruling. If you ask the nominee what he is going to do, I would have allowed the question. But your question is he going to close it down or not? That is where I intervene. So, please, let's proceed. I'll give the floor to Alhaji Alasan Umar.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, my brother and Chairman and Minister-to-be, inshallah. Once again, congratulations. My question is in relation to what the predecessors asked. And that is about post-harvest losses. I believe somewhere 4 years ago, the government of Nana Akufo-Addo attempted to put one warehouse per constituency. And I come from Zapso. There's nothing like that. So you do not even have the moral right to ask a government that is just about 14 days in power. Mr. Minister Nominee.
Chairman, I think you should be listening to our colleague. Are you asking a question? Or what is the question?
I'm laying foundation.
Alhaji Omar, with all due respect, proceed to ask the question without questioning whether somebody has a moral right or not.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm guided. Mr. Nominee, you are the first chairman to be nominated as the regional minister. First regional chairman of the great Akatamanso party. Mr. Chairman, and I know your capacity. I know how much we campaign through the entire region. You know the problems. You know the issues. What will you do to address the road challenges, the schools under trees, the water issues, and above all, you know, we need to have peace in the area. Thank you so much.
Please, go ahead and answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it's very true that I'm the first regional chairman to be appointed as a regional minister from my region. Mr. Chairman, during the campaign, we saw in most of the areas where schools were still under trees. We saw in most of the areas where there was no potable water for the people. We saw in most of the areas the deplorable roads that they were using. Mr. Chairman, during the campaign, wherever I went, I made a certain promise to the people. And most of the promises that I made have to do with lack of health facilities that I promised them. Maybe we'll put up chief zones. Lack of potable water that I promised them will give you at least one borehole to start with if we're in government. The road network, which I've personally used to get to the community, nobody will have to tell me again that the road has to be improved. Mr. Chairman, I will ensure if this honorable, let me repeat, if this honorable House, my brother, Mr. Chairman, if this honorable House makes me the regional minister, because without them, I cannot become a regional minister. So if this honorable House approves of my nomination, most of these promises that I did, including the promises that the candidates themselves gave the people as a regional minister, Mr. Chairman, my region knows very well that I was not an armchair regional chairman. I moved around the entire region. Sorry. Sorry, Mr. Chairman. I moved around the entire region. And I heard the candidates then, most of who have become members of parliament, the promises they made. I will ensure that these promises are fulfilled. I don't want it to be like a sloganeering when they will go around telling the people, we'll do this, we'll do that, and 4 years to come, the people will now be asking us questions. Because these are basic things that they are necessities. They are necessities. If the villagers need road, it's a necessity. If they need a cheap zone, it's a necessity. If they need a clinic, it's a necessity. If they need a school, it's a necessity. Mr. Chairman, if this August House approves of my nomination, we shall...
Honorable nominee, thank you very much. I will give the floor to Honorable Patrick Boama. Then, if you have a further question, I will come to you. Or you don't have a further question? No further question. Then, Patrick Boama, hold it. He wants to make a preliminary comment.
I have follow-up to this question. I have follow-up from his question. He indicated that you are the first regional chairman of the NDC to be nominated as the regional minister. My question is that, is it the case that you have been nominated the Northern Regional Minister because you are the regional chairman of the NDC? Is it the case?
Mr. Chairman, it has never been the criteria, and for that matter, it's difficult for me to know whether because I was a regional chairman or not, but I think it's no.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I got the question clear. The question is not that because you are a regional chairman, that is why you are made the regional minister designate. That is different from the question asked. The question asked was to the effect that you've been a regional chairman. He has campaigned with you all over the region. I mean, that is the angle from which he took the question from. But it's not categorical that because you are a regional chairman, that is why you are being designated. I'll give the floor to Honorable Patrick Yavuama.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I just have one question for the nominee. Mr. Nominee, the northern region is a very important region of this country. You have the Dagombes, the Nanumbes, you have the Basaris, the Nauris, the Nchumrus, Konkombes, very important and very cosmopolitan. We all have at the back of our minds the conflict of 1994 and some of the simmering tensions between some of the ethnic groups. Konkombes, Dagombes, Nanumbes, here and there. We all love the North. We come there very often. I have a farm there. I always want to come there and visit my farm around Gushegu area or go towards Salaga, Palibile area. That's another region I know. What assurance are you going to give to the people of the North and the country that you are going to be a regional minister, not for the Konkombes only, not for the Dagombes only, but you ensure that there is peace and harmony in the region to allow everybody, the Akans in the North, Gans the Evers, to live and go about their duties and responsibilities freely as citizens of this country. That's my only question for you. Thank you very much. And I wish you the very best, Minister.
Please, go ahead and answer the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the assurance that I want to give this noble house is that I'm going to work closely with the traditional authorities. I will ensure that every district, and for that matter, the district chief executive, should not hesitate to report to the regional minister's office, and for that matter, RCC, when there is the slightest problem. When there is the slightest problem in their district, that has to do with security. Mr. Chairman, I will visit the paramount chiefs regularly to ensure that we have periodic meetings. Instead of waiting to be resolving conflicts, we'll rather meet regularly to take decisions that will that will avoid conflicts. Mr. Chairman, I'll be interested in conflict prevention rather than trying to resolve conflicts. I'll give it the deserving attention and I'll work closely with the traditional authority. And Mr. Chairman, my background, I was born and bred in Bimbila in the Nanumba South. Sorry, Nanumba North. I lived there, I attended my primary and middle school education there. A lot of the people know me very well. Most of them are now respectable people in their area. Mr. Chairman, I've also, from Bimbila, among the Nanumbes, I moved to Saboba. That is my hometown. Mr. Chairman, from there, I'm now in Tamale. So I've lived among the Nanumbes, the major tribe. I've lived among my people. I've lived among the Dagombes. And so I understand them very, very well. And I'll do everything possible with the able counseling of the traditional rulers to ensure that we never see any conflict under my regime.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Any further question? Very well. Very well. Ah.
Thank you, Mr.
Honourable members, I will give the floor to Rita Na Odolesoa.
Thank you, Chairman. I want to congratulate the Honourable Nominee for catching the President's eye and sitting here for vetting. Honourable Nominee, I want to talk about the apprenticeship program. I want to talk about the apprenticeship program that you have spoken of extensively to be able to keep our brothers and sisters in your region to ensure that they don't migrate to Accra. And I want to encourage you that there should be proper monitoring of this apprenticeship program so that at the end of the day, when they are trained and that they are given the necessary tools to work with, they will not leave the tools behind and run back to Accra. And I also want to find out what measures will you put in place to ensure that when they are trained, their training masters will train them properly so that they'll be able to work with whatever skills they have acquired. Thank you.
Thank you. Your answer to the question.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, in order to let the masters themselves attach importance to the training of the apprentices, they need to be motivated. The masters themselves need to be motivated. And Mr. Chairman, this program, if it is started, and I am a regional, sorry, I wanted to say regional chairman. Sorry, sir, sorry, Mr. Chairman. And this August House approves of my nomination and I become the regional minister. Mr. Chairman, I'm a technical man. I've taught in a technical school for 17 years and I've benefited a lot. Myself and my MP, the Minister-Designate for Transport, through our technical background, we were able to pay our own school fees without going to our parents. We were able to do any other thing that we wanted to do by ourselves. My former MP and former minister is here, Honorable Ambassador Mabungba. We put up his house for him in Saboba. Yeah. Mr. Chairman, the jobs are there and we will ensure that when we assure the apprentices of ready jobs for them if they get good training, and we motivate the master trainers so that they can put in their best and train the trainees very well for us. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I will now give the floor to Honorable Matthew Nyindam.
So this is the way I'm marking them. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. To it, I'm just congratulating him. That one is meant for the House. It's just congratulations. Chairman, and then a nominee at the same time. I have just two questions. There is always a cold war between MPs and DCs. Indirectly, it affects progress in our constituencies. It doesn't matter the party, either MPP or NDC. How do you intend to tackle that? Thank you.
Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, having become a district chief executive before for 8 years, under my regime as a DC, I never created any problem between myself and then the member of parliament. So in short, I just want to give you that firm assurance that if this House gives me their consent or approval on President's nomination for me to become a regional minister, if this was happening, it will become a thing of the past. I will ensure, because sitting on an MP's fund means you are depriving some people from benefiting what they are supposed to get. Perhaps the MP wants to give a community potable water. So, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much for your answer. Any further question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My second question. Nominee, what will you want to be remembered for as you leave office one day? What will you want the Northern region to mention as your legacy? Thank you.
Thank you. Proceed to answer.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I cherish peace so much. And so one of the things that I want to be remembered for has to do with peace. Under my regime, if I make the regional minister, under my regime, I don't want to see any conflict throughout my tenure. And I think that based on the foundation I'll build, maybe it will be a continual thing even after my regime. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's congratulations. I think I also want to assure you, on behalf of my colleagues from the Northern region, that you can depend on us. We'll be there to support you. God be your helper. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Now proceed to give the floor to Hajia Fataya.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, may I have the opportunity to congratulate you on your nomination as the Northern Regional Minister. I have to go back to Honorable Jerry's question because, you know, the people I'm representing, majority of my constituents are women. And I would want to know more about these Kayais, especially those that travel all the way from the north to the south. So the World Bank Open Knowledge Repository puts the rural-urban migration rate for Ghana in 2023 as negative 0.305 per thousand population. May I know which policies you will put in place to stem these manners, and also those who are already here in the south? Nana Akufo-Addo government has put in place policies and programs to give them dignified living. That is boarding hostels for the Kayais. How many hostels? We have more than enough to take care of the Kayais right now. Thank you, madam. What assurance will you give to the people of the North, especially my constituency, Sabulugu, when approved by this committee and eventually the House, that you will not suspend those policies, but rather improve upon them to the benefits of the young men and women who find themselves in this situation? Mr. Nominee.
That was a very brilliant.
That's a very
Please go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Let me also use this opportunity to congratulate my sister. Mr. Chairman, this issue of Kayaye is something that affects all of us. Mr. Chairman, what I will say is that whatever that the past administration started. Even though, Mr. Chairman, you have put it to me that the previous administration had put up some hostels to give them dignified living. I want them back home. I want them back home. And so I'll do everything that it takes to make back home attractive, and they will start running back home. Whatever resources that we can put in there to make home attractive, whatever reason for which they came to Accra, they will come back home. That is where I want them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You have a follow-up question on KIA.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Nominee, how are you going to ensure that they get back home? How? Tell us. Are you coming to give us money and buses?
Mr. Chairman,
Order, let's listen to the answer.
Mr. Chairman, there will be jobs for the youth. And when the jobs come, nobody will tell them that the home is now better than it was. Go home.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I recognize Charles Forson.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mr. Nominee, congratulations. I want to know the roadmap for solving the many chieftaincy crisis and inter-tribal clashes within the northern region, please. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. The chieftaincy issues in the northern region, unfortunately, nobody is happy when there are problems anywhere, not only in the northern region. And we at Northerners, we are ourselves worried. Mr. Chairman, fortunately, the traditional authorities, most of our revered chiefs are here to give me moral support, and they are listening to whatever I am saying. Mr. Chairman, you would have heard me repeatedly talking of liaising with traditional authorities. I will revive, or I will ensure that all the dissects at the district level function more effectively, and RESEC will function more effectively, and ensure that we take our security issues very, 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 very serious, and deal with, and also ensure that our chiefs, we will have periodic meetings with them. Whatever that are the causes for the chieftaincy problems, they should also relook at it, so that we are not tagged as a region that is always fighting, because there are root causes. So they should relook at it, so that we don't have chieftaincy problems again. That is what I can say.
Thank you very much. Any further question?
No, I asked of tribal clashes too.
So is that your second question?
No,
Tribal
it's not,
clashes?
No. I asked of chieftaincy crisis and tribal clashes, yes.
Yes, he mentioned DISEC and RESEC, that he will liaise with them in solving those questions.
Specifically,
Honorable members, it is not the answer that you want the nominee to give that the nominee will give. So we take his answer for your questions asked. If you have a further question, proceed to ask.
Thank you. Honorable Mr. Chairman, Honorable Alasan Uman asked a generic question on water, but water is life. And we all know that in the northern region, it's a big issue. Specifically, I want to assure, to give a specific roadmap as to how he plans to give every household water in the northern region. Nominee, when approved.
Honorable member, the nominee before you is not even approved as the minister, regional minister for Northern Region. Here we are before his approval. We are asking him to give timeline.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, he's coming for an interview and he's well prepared to answer. I believe that he's well prepared to answer. My good brother, he's my brother. Water is life. I keep saying it. We will approve him, of course.
Honorable member,
do you have any plans?
Honorable member, approval is a process. This is vetting. After vetting, before we get to approval table, your assumption is that he will be approved. So based on that assumption, you are asking your question. Put yourself in his position that if you are in the process of being vetted to occupy a position, and you are not the sector minister per se, you have to work in collaboration of a minister responsible for water resources who is yet to be vetted, and you are asking him to give timeline. But well, I would pose the question to the nominee.
Thank you.
Honorable nominee, your answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, what I would say is that I have not yet been given the nod yet. And so if I am given the nod, I will work closely with the minister responsible for water resources so that I can get a fair share to my region. Thank you very much.
I'll give the floor to Deputy Whip and the ranking member.
Chairman, congratulations. NDC Regional Chairman, congratulations. That is awesome. Chairman, my first question. Have you ever said that the MPP government found of cutting short for projects without funding? Have you ever said that anyway?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
So, can you give us examples of some of the projects that you think that the MPP government cut short for without funding?
Mr. Chairman, the Yendi water project, a sword was cut. And as I talk to you, Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, nothing is happening. Mr. Chairman, there's Savlugu Walwali Road. Mr. Chairman, Kwalugu Dam. Mr. Chairman, let me leave it here. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman.
Question. Chairman, I want to put it to the nominee that what the answer you've just provided is inaccurate. The Yendi water project was approved by Parliament. It came to Parliament and we approved it. And then Ataisa and Nanton, you are new in this house. When it was approved, you were not members of Parliament. So please allow me to make my point. The Yendi water project is an Indian Exim Bank facility, of which I can tell you that $10 million was given to the contractor. So, Chairman, when you say that there are projects that sort was cut for without funding, I disagree with you. I've read the article, and I think that it is not accurate. No, he said there was no funding. That's what he said.
Mr. Chairman, I didn't say there was no funding. All I said is that work was not done. Thank you very much.
Chairman, my initial question to you was that have you ever said anywhere that the MPP government cut short for a project without funding? And you said yes. Because I have an article attributed to you here from Joy. And then the article is to the effect. So that's why I wanted to establish, because you know nowadays, Joy is a very credible media house. So I want... So when they attribute such a story to you, I need to establish whether you have said that before I will then come into that. So he said that the heading is that MPP has penchant for cutting short for project without funds. Northern Regional Chairman, NDC. And it is reported by Joy on the 21st of August, 2024. So did you say so or otherwise?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I'm yet to know whether that fund is really there. Because cutting sword means you are ready to start the project. And so if you cut sword without the commencement of the project, and Mr. Chairman, I'm still told that funds were ready. It's possible the funds might have been diverted or used for something else. I'm sorry to say that. Otherwise, if it is there and you have cut short for each project, why has the project not commenced? Thank you very much. For 2 years now.
Chairman, I think you should direct your nominee to withdraw the word funding being diverted. So for that matter,
perhaps. He should Mr. Chairman, I said perhaps.
Honourable members, order.
Evidence to that.
Honourable members, order. I have listened to the nominee. I intend not to give any direction, but I will give the floor to Honourable Patrick Boama.
Chairman, nominee, let's be honest with ourselves. The Yendi Water Project, I supervised the process in Parliament. Okay. Parliament approved of the facility. Preliminary works were done for the works to start. We hit a snag because of the debt exchange program and the restructuring going on. So the Indian facility was approved, number one. Secondly, the 10 million that was needed for those preliminary works were given, was released. Sword cutting, because of the funding being approved by the Indian Exim and the Parliament of Ghana, the president cut a sword. And I believe Yana was, the revered chief Yana, was even at the sword cutting ceremony. We all know how dear the project is to the people of Dagbon and Yendi. So if it's not been fully completed, it doesn't mean... You don't start a project when you haven't done the prelims. You have to understand. You have to go through your understanding of project being done is when everything has been fixed. No, you have to do the feasibility and the pre-feasibility and everything. It's part of it. You have to understand it. It's an engineering work.
Honourable Patrick Boama.
Come on.
Order. Honourable members. We cannot dictate to the nominee the kind of answer to give. If I am sitting in his shoe, what is the starting of a project? You can do all the preliminary works, but if on the ground, I have not seen anything being done, I will say that the project have not started. That is the ordinary meaning people give to starting of a project.
Chairman, this is not ordinary meaning. This is a technical meaning to job. And you give technical meanings to technical words. You can't say that.
So, Honorable
Chairman.
Habib, proceed with your question.
Chairman, I think you are now doing politics. A lawyer, as I know, it doesn't mean when you meet a lawyer with your case, drafting of your statement and other thing without filing the necessary documents in Parliament, doesn't mean that the case hasn't started. So, Chairman, my other question to the nominee. Can you assure the good people of Northern Region that we will be safe in your hands, irrespective of your political affiliation, religious or chieftaincy? Can you assure us if we will be safe in your hands?
Mr. Chairman, you are very safe than ever. If you give me the nod.
Thank you.
The chairman of the committee, you know, he wants to protect you at all costs, nominee. But we will also have our say. Chairman, immediately the former flag bearer, our former vice president, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, conceded to our current president, John Dramani Mahama. We realized that in the northern region, there have been a lot of disturbances, attacking the Tamale Metro Assembly, attacking Savulugu, some other districts by party, alleged party affiliates. Chairman, what is your view on post-election violence, especially in the northern region, that it happened and you are going to head when giving the nod?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, this issue is not done by just one political party, and for that matter, NDC has won election. Most of these things, you see a lot of people from diverse political parties, you know, trying to do some of these things. Mr. Chairman, like I stated, security is one of the key areas that I will look at. And so most of these things will become a thing of the past. That is the assurance I can give you. It won't happen.
Thank you very much. Any further question?
Mr. Nominee, my next question is the one we were more or less trying to debate about. Water crisis in the northern region. The Yendi area, Tamale and its environment, extending to my constituency, Tolo. I can see the paramount chief of the Nyankwala traditional area seated among your invited guests. His traditional area, a lot of water crisis. What will you do to help solve the water problem in the northern region?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, His Excellency, the President of our Republic, John Dramani Mahama, made it very public to the people of Tamale. Not once, not twice, that if he becomes the president of our republic, he was going to solve the Tamale water problem. And this is somebody, when he says something, he does it. And so I have that firm belief that once he has won and he's our president, the Tamale water problem will be solved. And when that is solved, it will not end there. We'll see how we can get it to other constituencies. I will do this lobbying through the minister in charge of water so that this can be done for us. It was a promise to us.
Thank you. Any further question?
Yes, Chairman, Mr. Nominee, if you are aware, in the Eastern Corridor, there are some underneath tension from Myang, Yendi, Saboba, where you came from, Karaga, Gushegu area. And over the years, we've lived peacefully between Dagombes and Konkombes. Myself, I have a lot of Konkomba friends, and some of them even staying with me. Chairman, you are a Konkomba. And the underneath tension, we've lived in peace and harmony in the region. What will you do to ensure that nothing of that sort shows its ugly head?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Please, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I thought I had earlier on answered this question. And I want to repeat again before Mr. Chairman that I will give security issues the attention that it deserves. I hear the slightest issue, I will not underestimate it. Mr. Chairman, the traditional authorities, I will work closely with them. That is why I'm seated here with representatives of Ndayana. We have representatives of the Bamblana, which Abobor himself is personally here, and many other chiefs in the northern region. Many other revered chiefs in the northern region are here with me today. Mr. Chairman, I will not abuse what they have done for me in the past and the respect and honor they have given to me. I will work closely with them, and we shall treat security, we will give security issues the deserving attention as much as possible. Thank you.
Any further question?
Yes. Mr. Nominee, you are currently, if you go through your CV, you are the regional chairman of the NDC, and you've been nominated to be the regional minister. Regional minister means you are minister for all, irrespective of political colors. Do you intend to resign as the NDC regional chairman so that you can concentrate as the northern regional minister and minister for all?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Order! Order, honorable members. Honorable members, let's have some order. Honorable members, let's have some order. Honorable members, let's have some order. Honorable members, Honorable Soini, let's have some order. Honorable Nikwe, let's have some order. Order.
The party constitution will take care of that.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Very well.
Mr. Chairman, I will give the region the deserving attention. I will focus in doing my work as a regional minister if I'm given the nod. Mr. Chairman, as to whether I will resign or not, the directive will be given. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chairman, I think my nephew Sohini you should be guided. You are not a member of this committee.
Address the chair. Address the chair.
So, Chair, kindly guide my nephew Sohini. He's not a member of this committee. Mr.
Chairman,
Nominee.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
Chairman, Habib is my younger brother, and it has to go on record. He's not my uncle. He's my younger brother. Thank you.
Chairman.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, we have 4 other nominees to vet. So therefore, I am not happy about what is happening at the table. If you want to be a friend to this committee and you won't come here, and watch and listen to the proceedings in silence, please take leave of us.
Thank you, Chairman, for that. Mr. Nominee, the region that you are going to be heading, that's the northern region. Majority of the people are farmers. In my constituency, Tolong, especially the Tolong traditional area, from Tolong through to Tali up to Go, we have a lot of land for farming. What would you do to enhance agriculture in the northern region?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I've indicated earlier that in the manifestos of the NDC, we shall be providing mechanization centers at all districts. And for that matter, Tolong will benefit its fair share. Mr. Chairman, I'm happy you have that interest for our youth. Mr. Chairman, if these mechanization centers are put in place, and I am given the nod by this noble house, I'll work closely with you to ensure that the youth in that area and other areas across the region make good use of that program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nominee, even though you said the NDC manifesto, I don't believe in the NDC manifesto in a way, or your policies. So,
Honorable Nyindam, the answer to the question is not telling you to believe in the manifesto or not to believe. Honorable Habib, the answer is not telling you to believe in the manifesto or not to believe in the manifesto. He is saying that in the NDC manifesto, this is what is stated in the manifesto. So giving the nod, he will ensure.
Chairman, if I ask the nominee a question and he's answering me from a manifesto that I don't believe in, I should be able to say that. But Chairman, let me assure you that Northern Caucasus, the region that you are going to be heading, you have our full support. We will be there to support you. You know, out of the 18 constituencies, when I say this, some of my colleagues don't want to hear it. I am the only leader from the north as it stands now. There's no more any leader anywhere. So I will assist you. Ayerga haven't arrived yet. Nobody have mentioned his name yet. I am the only leader from the northern region at the moment. We will. Ayerga is from Upper East. Mahama Ayerga is from Upper East region. I'm from northern region, and I'm the only leader from the northern region. And I am saying that myself and my colleagues, Chama, will give you the needed support and the needed cooperation to make sure that you lead us very well in the northern region. So I congratulate you, and I hope that I'll urge my colleagues in the committee to approve your nomination for you to be able to do a good job for us in the northern region. Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I also congratulate you on the new leadership role you have assumed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I will give the floor to Honorable Muhammad Shaibu. Our next nominee should be getting ready to take the chair.
Chairman, thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman. Honorable nominee, congratulations. I note that you've answered a wide range of questions, spanning from chieftaincy, tribal, development, and the rest. I note also that in an answer to my learned friend, Jerry, you said you will whip DCs in line and in order. A chunk of the stuff that will be done will be district-based. Indeed, if you watch and you take a look at the manifesto of the NDC, there's a great deal of stuff to be done in the education sector, in the health sector, and agriculture. Your success will be pinned on the work that will be done at the local level, that's at the district, and that is the DCs and the assembly. I just want to encourage you that work very well at the local level. A lot of stuff in education, a lot of stuff to be done at the health services, and then importantly, agriculture. You know, a chunk of our people are into agriculture, and you must work effectively with the programs that are going to be rolled out. You have a wealth of experience behind you. I can see the former regional minister, Honorable Mabengba and Yapka Suluna. Please consult all of them, and you will be successful. I wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Nominee, it's now my turn to ask you questions. And by our rules, I have unlimited questions to ask you. Before doing that, let me recognize our revered chiefs behind you as our guests. This morning, Paramount Chief of Nantong, Na Abdullahi Ba Mahamadou, Paramount Chief of Kasul Yili, Na Bukari Yakubu. Please, my every dialect, don't blame me too much. Paramount Chief of Tugu, Na Mahama Andani, Paramount Chief of Zangbalan, Na Jacob Mahama, Paramount Chief of Nyangpala, Na Ibrahim Mahama, Paramount Chief of Lamashegu, Na Ziblin, Paramount Chief of Saboba, Uchabobo Bowan Matthew John, Cheche Na Abarika Fuseni, Bimbila Regent Representative Yabori Na, Tugu Yapalsi Na, Abdul Amin Ibrahim, Sakweya Na, Sintaru Mahama, former Northern Regional Minister, Ambassador Bukari Moses Mabengba, Director General, NLA, Mohammed Abdul Salam, Northern Region Organizer, Abdallah Abubakar Baba, spouse of nominee, Ali Patience, Nikukiba Wasa, Regional Coordinating Director, Smaila Wuntoma, CEO, Rural Water, Dr. Nathaniel Adams, former Deputy Chief of Staff, Kenneth Wujanji, Northern Regional Communication Officer, Mohammed Suleimana, Special Duties Director, Northern Region, Ibrahim Mohammed Tijani, MP of Saboba, Bukari Nipwe, Northern Region Women Organizer, John Mahama Charity, former MP Gushegu Thomas Nasa, Constituency Chairman Saboba, Blimo George Wumbe, Regional and Constituency Executives, family members, you are welcome.
Chairman, except that they forget to add the name of the regional secretary, the National Lottery Board.
It's been mentioned. You are not in the room.
Authority CEO.
I have mentioned it. That is the NLA.
Chairman, he is my friend.
Thank you very much.
NLA
Please,
boss.
please. Thank you very much. You are welcome. Nominee, I thank you for attending upon the committee and answering questions posed to you. For now, you are discharged, but you hear from the committee.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I'm grateful.